Good morning. Good morning, everybody. This morning video is meant for everyone. I mean, all the intellectual parents, students, teachers, and all people who are concerned about the improvement in enhancing of the, performance of the teenagers, the adolescents. One of the biggest problems that the world is facing is the problem of low self-esteem among the adolescents. The present adolescents live a life that is not very much of approved, worth. Most of the adolescents, suffer from a low self-esteem. Parents can be a great support system for their teenagers suffering from low self-esteem. We use certain questions before discussing about how to overcome low self-esteem among the adolescents. Let us put some questions to our children or to our adolescents. The very first question we must ask our children, that is she or he extremely shy or withdrawn? If an adolescent is extremely shy or withdrawn, it is a sign of low self-esteem. The second question we should always ask the adolescents, is he or she overly concerned with what others think of him? Generally, the adolescents live the life of fantasy and imagination. So generally they are mostly, their feelings are governed by what the other people think about them, and that is the reason why they acutely suffer from low self-esteem. So whenever an adolescent is overly concerned with what the other people think about him or her, be sure that that adolescent is suffering from low self-esteem. The third question you should always ask an adolescent, is he or she highly sensitive to criticism? Generally, the adolescents are very, very sensitive to criticism. And if an adolescent is sensitive to a criticism, be sure that she or he is suffering from low self-esteem. Then the other question you must ask, does he or she fear failure? Adolescents are always in fear of failure, which is not, good. If an adolescent is in fear of failure, be sure that she or he is suffering from low self-esteem. The another question you should ask, that does she find her blaming others for her failure? Generally, the adolescents blame others for their failures, but the adolescents who do not blame others for their failures, they are always of high self-esteem. Does he or she exhibit a lack of independence? If an adolescent shows lack of independence, be sure that she or he is suffering from low self-esteem. Now the question arises, what is self-esteem? Self-esteem refers to an overall evaluation of one's worth as a person. We always evaluate, every human being evaluate himself as his, what kind of worth he is meant for. He always evaluates his worth in terms of being useful and productive to the society, being useful and productive to the individuals, and being useful and productive to the nation. So self-esteem includes the elements of approval or disapproval and the degree to which an individual considers himself or herself valuable, capable, significant, competent, and many more things. According to this, the an American philosopher and psychiatrist, William James, defines self-esteem that it is the position which a person holds in the world, contingent on his success or failure, that determines his self-esteem. Now the question arises, if the adolescents or a majority of the adolescents suffer from low self-esteem, how to overcome? That is the biggest question. Now, when we feel or when we realize that an adolescent is suffering from low self-esteem, there is a need of, support, mental, psychological, social, emotional support, and that can be extended only by the parents. If the parents, extend their moral, social, psychological, and spiritual support to the adolescents, I think they can slowly overcome the low self-esteem. For that reason, one has to be very, very meticulous and observe the activities of the adolescent. If you find that an adolescent keeps silence and she is confined to her room or her, I mean, study room, and if she's not interacting with the parents or her siblings, be sure that she is suffering from some sort of low self-esteem. She needs to have interaction and communication with her parents, teachers, and all the relatives who are her well-wishers. Always be sure that the question of self-esteem is not confined to the adolescents. It is also among the people who are older and aged. They also suffer from low self-esteem. What happens that when they retire, when they are retired from their job, or when their children are settled abroad, they are living a lonely life, they also suffer from low self-esteem because they believe that now they have become worthless, there is no worth with them, and that feeling is very dangerous and fatal to the survival of the old and aged people. Therefore, the this kind of, I mean, the generation which is in between 50 to 60 and 60 to 70 need to have a community, I mean, congregation, a gathering, a community living in which 5 or 10 people can sit together, can talk, can communicate, can entertain themselves either by performing yoga or by organizing some small get together weekly and tri-weekly, just to engage themselves, talking about some social work, nurturing of the children of the poor houses, doing some social activities, and helping the people come out of the problems. So these are the ways we can really fight, overcome self-esteem. Thank you. Have a nice day.